Good afternoon. I want to thank the folks that have joined us today. You'll hear in a few moments from Commissioner President of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners, Erica Crawley, Director Bernita Reese of Recreation and Parks. But I also want to thank Nana Watson, President of the Columbus NAACP, Stephanie Hightower, President and CEO of the Columbus Urban League, Director Carla Williams Scott, our Director of the Department of Neighborhoods, and Dr. Howard Washington, pastor of Second Baptist Church. As you all know, I grew up attending Columbus City Schools. Some of the most impactful and memorable memories of childhood was with teachers, amazing teachers. Ruth Hale was my teacher in the 4th grade at Brentnell Elementary School. I never worked harder, and I never learned more than from her. I had professors from, Rhodes and Oxford scholars and folks with PhDs from all over the place, but I never had a better teacher than Ruth Hale. She loved me, and I loved her, and stayed in touch with her right up until we lost her way too early. It was Chris Lisi, my 7th and 8th grade math teacher at Dominion Middle School, who taught me that I could love academics as much as I did athletics. And I never felt more confident in studying and learning math than when I was under his tutelage. And then there was Alvis Moore, my high school speech and theater teacher. He helped me find my voice literally and figuratively. Powerful influences in my life right here in this city. Columbus City School teachers. I would not be here today without teachers and coaches. And I know many others have similar stories. Educators are lending their voices to the pain, suffering, and hardship they felt in recent years and continue to feel with even greater sharpness in light of the unprecedented challenges from the pandemic. Teachers deserve to be heard. Teachers deserve to be seen. Teachers deserve to be respected and valued. What's important now is for both sides to engage with one another, to keep an open mind, to embrace empathy, reason, and understanding, and to move quickly and constructively toward a responsible solution. And everyone needs to do this while keeping students at the forefront of every discussion. Our children have endured too much to be told once again that they won't be returning to school with their friends, their teachers, and their coaches. They've already lost out on too many experiences and traditions because of forces beyond their control. Their families have sacrificed too much just to be put in this position again. But I'm confident that there's a pathway forward. It's up to all of us, parents, educators, administrators, neighbors, mentors, coaches, and caretakers to find common ground and come together in support of our children, their education, and their well-being. We can do this if, and only if, the district and the CEA return to the table and restart negotiations right now. Time is critical, and families and children all across Columbus are counting on you to reach a resolution and restore a sense of certainty and stability to the lives of our young people, our families, and our teachers before it is too late. I would now like to invite the President of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners, Erica Crawley, to the podium. Madam President.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for everyone who is joined with us today. Thank you, Mayor, for putting together this press conference to really address the moment that we're in right now. I want to be clear and say that I respect and support our teachers and their right to strike. That is the collective bargaining process, and their vote yesterday was their voice, and it was heard. Since I have been a legislator and now a leader here in this county, my time as an elected official has been standing with our teachers, trying to understand the issues that they have been facing and supporting our children from pre-K to third grade to fifth grade to college, and what we need to do as leaders to support those efforts. And so I know that the vote that they took yesterday was not one that they took lightly. But I've also been in communication all these years with our Board of Education members and know that we all have the same goal in mind. And coming back to the table today will be reassuring to our families and to our students that we have the same goal in mind, and how we get there may differ right now, but we can find a path forward. As the mayor said, we have to remember to keep our children at the forefront as they have been struggling these past 2.5 years through COVID, missing out on their friends. We know learning loss is a real thing. And we want to be able to give them some stability, and that they know that we as elected leaders are accountable, that we can put our differences to the side and come to the table when it matters. It no longer is relevant who was at the table and who wasn't. We all can support those who want to come to the table today. And so myself, along with my colleagues at the Franklin County Board of Commissioners, stand ready to support the city as they try to make sure that our students have resources and a place to go, and food and things of that nature. But we also support the CEA as well as our board of elected leaders to come to the table to find a resolution so that our children can be in an environment that supports their learning, supports their ability to thrive and not just survive. So I know next up is Director Reese, and she'll give some more words, and we support all the efforts that she has as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Crowley. It is most of all important that we focus on our students, and that's our being. What do we do in recreation and parks? And that is, we want to make sure that our students are our number one thought process, our number one activity as far as what we provide for them. As we did this summer, we provided activities for them throughout the summer, and we will continue that as we roll into the school year. We want to make sure that our families know, as well as our children, that we are here for them all year long. That's our number one priority. Columbus Recreation and Parks, we're committed to supporting our children, the families, in this uncertain time. And this is an uncertain time, I think, for all of us. Our children have endured a lot during the pandemic, mental health stress, socialization, and other activities that they have not been able to endure throughout this time. We will open 9 geographically placed support student centers. That is to have a safe place for them to access their online and leave their lessons within the school system. We want to make sure that we begin this on Wednesday, August 24th. It will begin at 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. We're opening at 7 a.m., so that we can make sure our seniors are heard and that they carry on their online class lessons. The west side, we will open Glenwood Community Center and Sullivan Community Center. On our east side, we will open Barnett, Blackburn, and Driving Park. Our south side, we will open Barrick and Schiller Community Center, and our north, Linden and Howard Community Centers. These are just a few sites that will open, as we have partnered with the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club, nonprofits, and other organizations to make sure that we're providing these student support centers. We want to ensure that all children have a safe place to go to. So not just our 9 centers will open at 7, but the rest of our community centers will open at 10 a.m. on a regular basis, starting this Wednesday. We are working to service with our partners to provide daily meals for students, and we'll provide an update for you at a later time. Please check our website, columbusrecparks.com. Please know that we're here to provide a service to our students. Thank you, and Mayor Ginther.
Thank you, Director. Thank you, Director, and let me reiterate what Director Reese said. Education cannot happen without teachers. We are opening some of our centers throughout the city to provide spaces, not teaching, so parents can continue to work and the CEA and the school board can work toward a solution. There are other partners that we'll be announcing in the days to come that will be joining this effort, including potentially places of worship and other nonprofit youth centers. We're also in discussion with some of those partners to open additional sites in areas that we think we're not able to serve with the 9 community centers within CRPD. And we'll release those details once they're finalized here the next day or so. The bottom line is this: We need a resolution, and we need it now. A responsible solution is within reach. Our teachers deserve to be seen. They deserve to be heard. They deserve to be valued and respected. And our children need to be in the classroom. We'll be happy to take any of your questions.
This summer, juvenile crime has been up higher than we've seen it in the past. With this strike going on and the lack of structure, are there any fears that this could continue?
Well, I think actually if you take a look at the statistics, crime and violent crime overall in the community is down dramatically. If you just look at homicides, it's 35% from just a year ago. So I guess I would argue that any incident of violence involving a juvenile is one too many. Any homicide is one too many. And we remain committed to investing in our young people. That's where some of the largest portions of our rescue plan dollars have gone to, the summer youth programming and summer youth employment. That's been a partnership that Director Reese and her team, Director William Scott and her team have been leading in partnership with the school district and so many other nonprofit partners throughout the community. That's going to remain a top priority. I know that Chief Bryant and Director Clark have also been in consultation with our nonprofit partners, the other departments, Recreation and Parks and the school district, to make sure we're doing everything we can there. But we need everybody else in this community to step up. This is not law enforcement's job to help us navigate through this difficult time. We need our faith leaders, and that's why they're here today, our nonprofit partners, other community leaders to step up and aid our children during this time.
Mayor, you said these centers are for safe spaces, not for teaching. How do you make sure that these students stay engaged? Because I mean, it's one thing just to show up, but how do you and everyone standing behind you as community leaders make sure that they're actually doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is learning?
Well, our staff will certainly help with that, making sure that they are able to access online resources and education. We have staff that will be shifting schedules and taking different shifts to help make sure that happens. But this is another place where we could use folks in other aspects of the community to step up and raise their hand and make sure that our young people are getting what they need.
75% of Columbus public students were chronologically absent last year. You've been on the school board, you have a daughter. What you're worried, if these kids were already absent during COVID and that sort of thing, are we going to get them back learning online now?
That's why we need a resolution. Every hour and every day matters. We need folks back at the table. We need a resolution. We need our teachers and our kids back in the classroom. I believe there's a path forward, but I've remained in pretty constant contact with all parties involved and will remain so, even more so, in the days to come.
What's your concern for families as we're moving forward? You know, they're trying to figure out what they're going to do for childcare. Obviously, you're working on a plan, but you know, tell us a little bit about your concern for these families, parents trying to get to work and they don't know what
Well, I
they're
can
going
only
to do.
tell you as a dad of a 12-year-old, having the uncertainty of school starting or not starting on Wednesday would be a very urgent concern. And a lot of our families are facing challenges and stressors like never before after the last couple of years. And so I think we owe it to parents and families, and most importantly our children, to keep them top of mind as we come to a resolution.
Mr. Mayor, about your contacts with the two sides, do you have any feel for whether they're going to get back together? Have they told you anything?
I'm hopeful, and I'm going to do everything in my power to ensure that they do. There's a path forward. Folks need to be heard, they need to be respected, they need to be valued on both sides. But I believe collective bargaining works if you fully engage and commit to it.
How do you feel about this coming down to the wire here for the start of school? Like they started 5 months ago, back in March, to started these negotiations. Did it really have to come down to the day before school starts?
You know, we're committed to a resolution. I know that there have been lots of times folks have been together. I think there are 22 different sessions over several months, but here we are. And my job as the mayor is to make sure that our teachers are heard, respected, and valued. They're in the classrooms where they've spent most of their lives dreaming of being, and they're teaching the kids of this community what they need and continuing to build and develop them, as you said, restore them. I think we're going to have to invest in our young people in a very significant way for the next 3 to 5 years, just to have some sort of a restoration of all that they've lost over the last couple.
How long will these services be available for students? I mean, if this strike does continue for weeks, months, I mean, it's a strain on everyone, but are these services going to be available for people as long as this is happening?
The city of Columbus is here to serve children and families, and we will do whatever we can to support young people in this community. I remain very optimistic that a fair resolution can be realized sooner rather than later. But it's going to take both sides coming together in good faith and with a commitment to trust and respect each other and put our teachers and our children first.
Do you have a good handle on what their major sticking point is? Has that been shared with you?
You know, variety of different things, all things that can be addressed and dealt with. We need folks at the table to get it done. Thanks, everybody. We'll stick around if you have any other questions.